He gets tripped up, gets it to me, and over the line. He's made by you. Goal is
Hey guys, how's it going? We're here for another interview, Between Two Sticks edition. I think we're on like episode 6 or 7 right now. This is huge. Lots of interest from a lot of different managers. Looking forward to tonight. Been a busy week. Went back to the office working over the last couple weeks, so I'm glad to get this one in. Heading out to Calgary tomorrow for a work trip as well, and then get right back into things this week. You know, I put a couple posts out there, a couple things before we get into the interview. Doing another Kahuna Cup tournament. Hoping to get it started Wednesday this week. Game times will be 8:30, 9:10, 9:50, similar to LG. So if you're interested, check out the forums for that post. And then the other thing was we have a few interviews on the way here. So tonight we have one with KeiranGW. Friday we have A Griggs. And on Sunday, we have LG McDonald. So should be a great lineup this week. Lots to talk about. Get to learn a little bit more about some new managers here. So let's get into this one. Okay, so as always, your host, Big Kahuna 03. This is the set Between Two Sticks. And we'll get into introducing our guest here. So joining me now, he is a season 21 World Junior Championship gold medalist, WHL playoff champion, one-time player of the week. He plays multiple positions, being management and even being a BOG. Welcome to the show, owner of the Moose Jaw Warriors, KeiranGW. Welcome, man. Thanks for joining.
Yo, what an intro. Holy. That one-time player of the week. What an honor.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, I don't have one of those, so I definitely want to call that out when I see that on players' profiles for sure.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, man. So yeah, no, thanks for doing this. I know you reached out, maybe last week, and I was like, yo, this could be a really good interview. Look, because you've got a lot of experience in the league, you've done a few different things, so I think it'd be a good conversation today. So thanks for doing this, man.
Yeah, bounced around a little bit. Thanks for having me on. Excited to get it underway.
Awesome. So, way we start this, one random or interesting fact about yourself.
Man, I would say it's not that great of a fact, but I basically can name any country flag. It's kind of a weird one, but I've watched so much soccer over my my life that any country I can name it right away. Kind of a weird one, but
So you've learned them all just from watching soccer, and it's not like you're just a big geography buff.
no, yeah, pretty much just watching soccer because I always tracked like the World Cup qualifications and stuff. So pretty much just became addicted to FIFA rankings.
That's awesome, man. That's sweet. So in the soccer World Cup. Speaking of World Cup, like I know Canada qualified for the first time in a very long time.
Yeah.
How do you think they're gonna do?
Oh, man, I don't think they're gonna get out of the groups. Unfortunately, that's a tough group. But I went to every game that was in Toronto, froze my ass off. But holy, what a run! That it's an exciting time for Canada soccer, at least.
Big time, big time. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they match up against some of those big dogs because yeah, they're definitely in a group of death, I would call it. Where other groups,
Okay,
like
yeah.
even the U.S., who didn't do as well as Canada in the qualifiers, got a pretty easy group. So be interested to see how they do for sure. But that's cool. That is an interesting fact, right? Like not everybody knows all the flags. I definitely do not, especially when like they have the same like patterns, just different colors. Yeah,
Yeah.
I struggle with that stuff. So that's sweet, man. So when did you first join LG and how did you hear about it?
Oh God. I joined LG first in season 32. I think someone on here said the same kind of thing where they were just kind of searching online for leagues. Um, but I basically I was on Reddit and I found a post because me and my buddies used to play EASHL back in like grade 8, grade 9, and I was missing that kind of playing. So I ended up finding this group on Reddit and I ended up playing with them every day. And then they told me to join a league called the I3HL, which is now kind of a big E3 league. But when I joined it, it was season 1 and it was trash. So guys like me could actually play in it. And when playing in that season, I was on a team with I Morrow and Bill Crosby. I don't know if you know. Bill
Yeah,
Crosby's still around.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, yeah, so they ended up convincing me to join LG, and then I was randomly assigned to ADOT's and Ace's team, Ace and Ellie. And I'm honestly surprised I didn't just take a ban and leave with those two idiots. But yeah, and then then season 33, I got my first roster spot.
Awesome. Did you find it tough like when you first joined and being like this is a grind, like how am I gonna get in here? And then yeah, maybe your management wasn't a great management group either.
Yeah, oh man, I was an idiot. I was messaging other owners looking for a roster spot because I had no idea how the league worked. And I was like, just give me a shot in net. Like I'm a decent goalie, I think. And yeah, ADOTS was that was when you could change positions as an owner. So ADOTS ended up putting himself in net, and yeah, it was a bit of a mess.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, that's tough. But hey, here you are now. Now you're owning a team, so that's awesome. What made you want to get into management? And yeah, talk us through that process. Like, what made you decide to start managing in the league?
Mostly because I hate myself. Um,
Huh.
no, I enjoy the league. And I don't know. I thought it would be a fun idea to kind of own. I owned in 35 as well, um, and I guess I forgot how much time consuming it actually was because I did it again here. So uh, yeah, I kind of just wanted to run it back, and then Daco and Hooch came on board, so it was pretty easy to convince me to make a run with them.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And what do you think makes a successful manager in the league? I know you've been around for a while. You've been part of some successful teams. So, like, what do you think makes a good manager in this league?
Not bidding on everyone you scout in your scouting discords. Holy, well, I did that season 35, and it took me about 6 weeks to fix the roster I built. So I don't know, just not trusting your scouting. I think this season we bid on one person we actually scouted.
Yeah, hey, that's a good call too. Like, none of the I'll be like to be completely candid, none of the good players in this league go to scouting discords, right? So especially as like a new owner and you start going and scouting all these guys, it's like the good players in this league are not in there, right? So
Yeah,
that's a good call out for sure. For sure.
it yeah. Then they build those bad teams, and everyone shits on them. It's just it's a bad it's a bad time.
Yeah, yeah. No fun for anyone in that point, but that's a good one. I don't think anyone's actually brought that one up yet, so that's a good answer. Um, so I think it was season 38 that you were actually a bog for the league. How did you enjoy that season, and did you enjoy being a bog?
Um, yeah, that was an interesting call. I was bored because COVID was massive back in 38 still. So I had so much time on my hands. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll join. Me and Buck talked for an hour, so I really liked working with Buck. He's a good guy. but I wouldn't do it again. I think my one season was enough. A lot of people wanted me to stay on as a bog just because I answered really fast, but holy, it was just very time consuming, I would say. Uh,
Yeah, that was kind of gonna be my next question, right? Is there actually a lot of work that goes into that role, like involved with that role?
it depends on how many people I think are on board. Because when I was a bog, it was just Buck and Facetti, and then there was like 3 actual bogs. Um, we had a few, like Billy Smith was a bog, but I don't think he did anything that season. Um, so it's just a lot of like, and if people know that you're the one that's going to answer fast or like within 10 minutes, you end up being the guy that they're always going to be reaching out to. So I ended up screwing myself early because I wanted to help people. I enjoy helping people. So I ended up making myself kind of known as that guy. So uh, yeah, it ended up being time consuming in that sense, I guess. Just constantly answering the same questions for the rule book.
Fair enough. So if you're a good bog, it actually sucks because everyone goes to you, is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's why I know Gazelle so much now.
That's right.
'Cause
Yeah,
he always
he
answers
answers.
me.
He does answer a lot. Yeah, he's really good at answering.
Gazelle's
Really
go
quickly.
now he's going up to the A, leaving us
Damn,
behind.
look at him go, eh? What is one thing that you would say to someone if they were interested in applying to be a bog? Like, what's one thing you would say to like prepare them for that role?
Oh, one thing I'd say is why. But secondly, yeah, pretty much just prepare for a lot of DMs. And honestly, people are gonna blame you for the most pointless shit. I remember I made the meme that goes around in the manager's chat quite a bit nowadays, where it's the guy putting the stake in his bike, blaming the bogs. Like it's basically self-inducing an injury and then blaming the bogs for it. So uh, yeah, you're just gonna get blamed. Buck gets blamed for so much. I was annoying Buck early this season about the re-sign stuff. So yeah, you take a lot of heat, but for the most part, I feel like this season was a little better with the owners we had.
Fair enough. That's an interesting fact. I did not know that was your meme that you created because it gets thrown. Buck loves throwing that around, by the
Oh
way.
yeah,
He loves that.
it might have been it might have been my only good thing I did as a bog.
There you go.
Because whenever I was on help desk, holy, I was not helpful.
Yeah, let me get back to you. Well, we're kind of in the middle of a game right now, so
Yeah.
what was your worst experience as a bog? So I know, like, honestly, like, I have so much respect for the guys that go into that role and they take a lot of flack from guys, but like, what was the worst experience that you had in that season you were a bog?
Man, the season I was a bog was actually one of the more entertaining seasons because that was the Kansas City scandal. You remember that?
Oh no, how could I forget that?
Yeah, the fun of that. So I ended up because I was really bored. Again, with COVID, I was so bored. I was unemployed at the time. So I ended up taking it upon myself to kind of go through roster lists because I'm like, it's pretty obvious when there's a second tag looking like.
Mhm.
So I basically just went through and found anyone with a low gamer score. I'd write it down on a list, and then I would go back through. And when I found Kansas City, I was like going through their whole team, and I was like, oh, this is kind of weird. Like, there's a lot of guys like this, and I knew I was pretty close with most of the guys on the team. Like Boston Dangler was on my team for a few seasons. So yeah, when I brought that towards Buck and LG McDonald kind of knew as well. I think someone else had mentioned there might be stuff there. But yeah, it was pretty shitty because like I was messaging Boston about it and he was playing dumb. So I was trying to help him get cleared, and then it ended up he was a part of it from the start and faking messages. So I was like, fuck. But honestly, being behind the scenes of that was kind of entertaining because it blew up fast. So
Yeah,
and they
that
would have
was
got away
funny.
with it if there was a whistleblower. If there wasn't a whistleblower, they would have gotten completely away with it. So because
Yeah,
no matter how much it looked like there were second tags, there was no proof in the end. So
it's crazy, man. I remember
yeah,
hearing that and being like, oh, one guy's played as one guy. Oh no, he played as 3 fucking guys on the team. Like, how much you have zero faith in anyone in this league that you have to play on every goddamn line. It's insane, man. But yeah,
yeah,
I'm looking at Egan put in the chat. They like, we just talked about the meme you created and how popular that one is. The "We're Innocent" meme now is
yeah.
definitely one of the best ones used in managers chat at all times. Anytime something goes down, that's the go-to picture or meme.
Yeah, no, he that's an iconic moment in CHL history for sure.
For sure, for sure. So season 38, you were on that great team in Kamloops that swept us first round. Made it to the Mem Cup semis, lost a really good Comets team in game 7. What made that team so good? Like, what was it about that team that you guys
Oh,
just buzzed?
man, I again I think it was because of COVID. Um, we had everyone on that team was so committed to playing Chell at the time. Um, and if you look back, like the line I was on, it was me on the left wing, Pocket in the center, and Cote on the right wing, with Allerg and Jen's rules on defense.
Hmm.
We had that line from week 2. So all the way from week 2 to when we got knocked out, we had just build chem, build chem, build chem. So yeah, it pretty much just came down to that. And then Pocket, the GM at the time, he he would spend hours making these review videos for us to follow, breaking down each line, how they played, what to look for, um, and basically drilled it into each line of like, okay, you're playing this line tonight. This is what they're gonna do. So I think that was massive for us. I was thinking about doing that this season with Moose Jaw, but it I was like, no, fuck this. This is way too long.
Yeah, no, fair
So
enough.
yeah, it sucks that we lost that game 7. The Comets, I think, if I recall, they went on a Cinderella run, right? You had me at Hello or Halo. You built a great team, but yeah, they were very defensive minded and kind of shocked a lot of people. So
Yeah, you guys took them to game 7 though, and then they took Windsor to game 7 before they lost in the Mem finals. But it was a really good game. I believe it went to overtime. It was insane. Um,
yeah,
was like I don't know how much you remember of that season, but do you remember the game 7 lineup? Was it the right one that you guys put out against them?
man, I actually had a note here about that. Cote is probably still pissed at himself for not putting our line in for that game 7. If you look back, we went 7-0-1 throughout the whole playoffs, but the game we played game 5, and we lost to their top line in overtime, and we were so like it was the most depressed party chat I've ever been in because you're so close to the mem, and this is when the ECHL and the Q were still in, so it kind of felt more like harder to get there. Um, we were so depressed, so when the our second line beat their second or third line in game 6, Cote thought they would just play the hot hand, and they ended up losing. So yeah, I don't. I think if Cote could have redone it, he would have put us back in and just told us to stop being pussies and being depressed and just fucking play.
Yeah, fair enough, man. Fair enough. Yeah, it
Yeah,
sucks. Those losses will hurt you, man. And Brig, I remember like that one thing I learned that season. That was my first season being an owner. Was I don't. That's why I don't talk about my team on any of my corners anymore. I was in Swifty's chat and I was like, yeah, we're not overly worried about them. We beat them every time we played them this season. Then you guys came out and swept
yeah,
us, so that sucked. So yeah, definitely.
yeah.
That's why, legitimately, why I don't talk about my team anymore. So
Oh my god.
Um, but yeah, so now you got a great team this season, right? You did a great job bringing some key pieces in that were part of that season 38 Brampton Beast team that was unreal. Obviously
Yeah.
starting with your two managers too. So tell me a bit about this team, and why you guys are so strong, and then maybe at the end just about a player that might be like underrated or overlooked that we don't talk enough about.
Oh, so going into this season, Daco, sorry, Daco in season 40 was an RAV, and he just wanted to kind of fill where he could and then go in and play World Junior. And I kind of bugged him for about 3 weeks leading up to the ownership reveal. I kept asking him, "Hey man, like just come own or come GM for me." Um, and Daco said he wanted to sign up as goalie. He hasn't played that in a while, and he just wants to play 3 games a night. And so we kind of made this pact of we're going to make a meme team, and we're both going to sign up as goalie and own. And I was pretty confident I could get ownership of a team because being a BOG ownership before. So it wasn't until Hooch agreed to come on board that Daco was like, "Oh, maybe we'll actually try then." So we both left the crease. Unfortunately, the meme team would have been great, but yeah. So getting Hooch obviously changed everything because he's a stud. And uh, past that, yeah, getting. I remember going into bidding. I told Daco and Hooch I didn't want to be Brampton 2.0 or 3.0 or whatever, how many teams they've made. So we had a rule of like we're only gonna put one bid on Dad, and that's it. If we don't get him at 750K, we're just gonna move on from it. Because Dad also moved to fucking butt fuck nowhere, so he plays on like 120 ping now. Yeah. So and then we had these great prospects coming in, and it wasn't until the opportunity arose. We had these two kids that we sent to Oshawa. They're great players, but they were kind of not toxic, but a little toxic. And if you know Daco at all, Daco hates toxic kids. So the opportunity arose that I told them if they could get Finney from Red Deer, we will trade them these two kids because one of them plays drafts like nonstop and apparently is a known guy. Shore.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. So we made that trade, and so many people shit on me in DMs, saying I was an idiot, and then other people were saying, "Holy fuck, what a trade! Like that should get reversed." So it's very different attitudes. But I'm so thankful we made that trade because even Dad on that 120 thing, his personality in the locker room is next level. So we ended up being Brampton 3.0 anyways.
Yeah, hey, it is what it is, man. You guys got like what 5 or 6 guys from that team. You guys are having a great season. You're still in playoffs, so you can't look back on that trade either. But sometimes it's better just to get rid of guys that are going to be a pain in the ass in your Discord, right? And where better to send them to Cax in Oshawa? He can deal with that shit. He has no problem dealing with the toxic guys because he can just out toxic them, right? That's all.
Yeah, I think they had the personality to kind of combat that, and we just didn't care enough. Like the three of us are so chill at management, so and they Shore was a wanted guy. I had people in my DMs nonstop trying to get that guy. So yeah, it ended up working out perfectly in the end because we're still here. Obviously, they're still there, so kudos to them. So yeah,
For sure. Worked out for both teams then. So yeah, what about a player that's maybe underrated
yeah.
or somebody that maybe doesn't get talked about enough?
uh, yeah. There's probably two that I would say. I mean, the whole team is kind of underrated because we have guys that had such bad records last year that we brought in. Daco is so good at finding those pieces like Fun with Beer on defense, but probably Mackey. I think Mackey's going to be a stud. I think he's going to go high in the draft. He's such a good French center and probably the nicest fucking guy I've ever met. We found him on the leaderboards, and I messaged him about the league. So he ended up coming in sneakily. And then Thompson, I think everyone's going to know Thompson once he goes up to the higher leagues. That guy is amazing. He's coaches like on Portland. He's coaches esports goalie. So that's kind of how we found him. Was watching videos of them play esports because they were the only two esports players that were higher up that were in the CHL bidding. So we outbid Portland to get Thompson and kind of broke them up, and yeah, so we ended up holding on to him. I think he's gonna be a stud.
Yeah, he's had an unreal season for you guys. Like I know we were talking previous to hopping on here, and I definitely was a player that I wanted to get into. So, doing that extra work to find these guys, man, and like I think when we talk about what makes a good manager, like that's definitely something that comes into play, right? Like going out and finding new guys because you get them for a little bit cheaper too, when not everybody knows who they are. So, I think
Yeah.
he won a lot of big games for you guys. It was a great pickup, and I'm sure he's helping you
God,
continue
yeah.
your run now too, right? So.
Yeah, in the first round he went 3-0 with 3 shutouts. Like I was like, all right, sick. Can't ask for any more than that.
That's awesome, man. Was he so when you mentioned like he was on like a esports team, was he disappointed that he didn't get with his boys, or was he good right away, being like he'll just kind of play with whoever?
He was pretty good, like right off the bat. Like he reached out to me and asked me first why we bid on him, which is always a sketchy question.
Yeah.
You think, oh, this guy's gonna go toxic, like we're fucked. And we just told him, oh, we saw your clips, and he's like, oh, cool, like instantly didn't care. And this guy, for how good he is, there's no ego on him. Like he's just a beauty. So yeah, he didn't care, and he wanted us to get coach from Portland, but we told him like obviously they're not going to trade him, and we don't have the cap at 8 mil to fit him in anywhere. So he moved on from that idea pretty quick.
Fair enough. Yeah, yeah. But you did have the cap to take Oliver's that was sent down from me, and then I'm really interested because we actually haven't talked since that. Like, what happened there? Because I know his cap was really high. He got sent down from his AHL team. I couldn't find the space to get him on my roster, and I know he's a really good player. So just tell me what happened with that trade, because I know you ended up moving him, and he ended up getting banned. And
Yeah, we were very excited to get Oliver's. Obviously, Beluski, the little scumbag, he waived his no protection from our team and went up to the Marlies. And after 2 weeks with the Marlies traded all the CHL guys they brought up from Seattle and stuff. So he ended up convincing his AHL owner, I think it was Texas, to send him back. So after we got Oliver's from you, all of a sudden we had Beluski back on our TC, and this Beluski's unreal. So it was kind of hard for us to be like, keep him there. So yeah, Oliver's played the 1 week with us. He went 1-2. We didn't have a great week with him, and then he kind of started ghosting us pretty hard. But he would still show up for the games, but he just wouldn't answer messages. So we ended up shipping him to MedHat, just assuming he wanted out. For MedHat sent us a goalie that was an NHL goalie at the beginning of the season, and both guys ended up getting cap bans anyways. And I heard from Goon, who's the MedHat owner, that Oliver showed up for the warm-up for their night, so he was there. And then the game started, and then he went offline and just left.
big time egos, man. That sucks so bad. Because I know he was bugging me to get moved because I was like, I can't make room right now. I'm trying to figure something out for you, like whatever, right? And found a spot for him. And well, first we fucked up and did the trade way too late, and it got reversed. But yeah, that sucks, man. Because I know I saw his first week with you guys. I was like, it didn't go very well. Like, I wonder what happened. And then I saw you moved him, and then boom, bans. And I was like, oh shit, like this is coming back to me. But yeah, no.
Buck absolutely loved banning both those guys. He thought it was hilarious. Yeah. That fact that they got traded for each other and both took the ban. But yeah, no, I didn't really talk to him. Daco said he was pretty quiet of a guy. It was just interesting because I bugged you for like 3 weeks because we knew we had the cap for him and we thought he was a good quality player. So yeah, it just didn't work out.
Yeah, week 1, I was like convinced I could make some move to get some cap space so that I could call him up. Week 2, I accepted your trade too late and fucked that all up. And then week 3, you got him. So.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now that we're on the topic of it, by the way, I'm just reading chat here, and Greg says Keiran is a shitter, so you can tackle him. He'll be on Friday, so you can give him a hard time.
Yeah, I'll come back.
But talking about trades and stuff, what's the worst team that you found this season to have trades with?
Oh, time to air out some laundry. Eh?
Let's go.
1,000% it would be Red Deer, and I'm pretty sure they've been said before. They were awful. If you wanted a guy from them, all you get back is a one-word no or not happening or crying face. And then the next day they would be like sweet talking you, like sending you like, oh, hey man, how's it going? Like, how's your day? Oh, we're just wondering, are you willing to move this player? And it's like, what the fuck? Like, these guys were just such dicks. And then, so it was impossible because we tried to get Finney from them for so long. So we ended up just sending Oshawa to get him for us, which worked perfectly. And then Spokane would be the other one. Spokane was annoying. We wanted to get Crisis from them just to have on the team, just to be a part of the group. And they thought it was hilarious just kind of holding an RAV against us. So it was what it was.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, there's I hate when like guys try to fluff you up before they ask you for a deal. It's just like, hey, how's it going? I love that you're doing this. I love that. And then like it's like just cut to the chase, buddy. What are you looking for, right?
Like, yeah, and then when you say no to them, they get salty.
Yeah, it's
because there's 2 teams, the Broncos and Portland. No matter how many times I politely say, oh no, we're not going to move that guy, they would take it, send a paragraph about like, oh man, we have such good pieces we can send you to make this work. And like Portland wanted Thompson like no one's business. Every fucking week they were in my DMs. They basically told us that we were one of the messages Legend sent was like, "Oh, Thompson's been so nice to you guys to like play for your team and not make an issue of it. Like, you should reward him by sending him to a team that's gonna go far or something." So,
Yeah, wouldn't it be
yeah, we
sick if
always
you
look
guys play
back.
each other next week?
Yeah, it might make some spice. And then the Broncos, obviously, they were one of the teams ripping on us for a lot of trades. So it was interesting to see them go out earlier than us.
Yeah, that's the way it goes sometimes, man. Yeah, nobody's ever happy when other people make trades. Probably the guys that get unhappy about it were trying to trade for the same guy or something like that. But um,
Oh yeah.
now Griggs thought he was gonna be number two. He thought he was gonna be the one of the tough guys for you to trade with, but didn't
Oh
make the
no,
list.
Griggs was easy. Like if I told no to Griggs or like he told no to me, I felt like we goofed around a little bit. It was never. There's guys like that. Griggs was great because you can joke with them, and other teams it was like, fuck man, this guy will not leave me alone.
Yeah. I know that feeling for sure. And then with that, like, is there any now like I know you mentioned a couple teams that you maybe drove you nuts, but was there any big rivalries or like anytime you played them, you're like, fuck these guys, like I need to win this game. Like we don't lose to this management group.
Not really. We were pretty chill. Like we played Prince Albert and the Ice pretty much. I was on a line with Vinny or Doco and Hooch for a bit. Hooch, I'm pretty sure played 80% of his games against the Ice and Prince Albert, so he kind of had like a personal rivalry with them, but nothing serious. Like I don't know, we didn't really. We were pretty quiet in the managers chat too. We weren't really causing any issues, so it was pretty smooth sailings, I'd say.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's good. Stay out of the shit.
Not to yeah. Sorry to not add any spice to that.
No, it's good, man. It's good. Like I don't know, there was a time where I did for sure, but now it's just like this season was more like the bottom teams. Like don't lose to these fucking teams. And I tell the lines that we did lose to some bottom teams, and Moose knows that. Like on my team, I gave him a pretty hard time after they lost to Peterborough or Windsor. I forget which one, but gave him a
Oh,
pretty
okay,
hard
yeah.
time. Shunned them for about a week, but they came out and played big in playoffs, so it was good for them. But um. One thing I did want to mention, so go back to season 38, you changed your name to Freak Say. Who were you
Oh
trying to
God.
hide from? Like obviously you're trying to hide. Who were you trying to hide from specifically when you changed your name?
Uh, no one specifically. Because I'm pretty sure I did it mid-season. It wasn't like I was hiding and bidding. I wasn't doing anything stupid. So it was because I had become BOG like week one. Um, so like week three, I was like, I don't know. In my head, I thought, oh, people are gonna like know my actual name and like I was like, oh, people are gonna call me Keiran, and like it's kind of weird for some reason in my head. So I was like, oh, let's change it to. I wanted Freak. I thought Freak would be cool, but it was obviously taken. And then me and Kote basically worked on a name for like a week, and I stayed Freak safe for maybe 3 weeks before going back because I realized real quick it was stupid.
And nobody
Hearing
knew
people call
how
me
you
that
were.
too. Yeah. So that was a very small time, and yeah, most like 90% of people have forgotten that I was ever Freak safe.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, and you were just kind of saying like, and hearing people call you that, it'd be like I can't imagine me changing my name now just because like I can't imagine somebody calling me something different like that. That would be weird. I think
Yeah,
to be completely honest.
it was weird and dropping games and the team calling me Freak instead of Kieran. I was like, okay, this is kind of strange.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, so made sense.
for sure, for sure. If you were to change one thing in the league, what would it be?
The WHL scheduling is so bad. I would change that 100%. I understand they're trying to go off like the real life sim or whatever. The fact that the OHL, you play every team in the OHL twice pretty much, and the WHL, you're going to play your division 8 times. I find that so dumb. Like, just mix it up a little bit more. Because we were playing every Monday night, you could pretty much look forward to. We were playing Edgar's Ice and fucking Prince Albert. So, which by the way, Prince Albert losing in the first round, I was pretty shocked by. They were a tough team.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty crazy too, for sure. Like that was insane. But I have to agree with you, man. Like when I was with Everett, like I found it so annoying that like and even last season when I was with Prince George, it's like play the same friggin' teams every weekend. the season 38, which you would have played in as well when they went to 4 games a night. You're playing the
Yeah.
same team like twice in the same night sometimes. You just literally play your division the whole season. And yeah, I would agree. I'd like to see them switch that up.
Yeah. It's just not fun. It's not as exciting. Like when I was owning Oshawa, it was exciting. And I've been in the WHL for 5 seasons now. So I remember I annoyed every single owner. I'm pretty sure I annoyed you at one point too, trying to switch teams. I wanted the OHL so bad. And I got told no by 80% of the owners. So
Yeah, I probably won't ever go back to the WHL unless there's like this division that's just absolute trash that I know that I can switch to and just beat every team every week. That's the only time.
Yeah.
Outside of that, like I like the variety, man. Play different teams. I hated playing the same teams over and over, man.
And they were like a lot of teams that I was reaching out to in the OHL. They were so scared of moving in because of Edgar. Edgar just moved into our division. So people wanted to stay far away from us completely. Didn't want, and Moose Shaw's jerseys aren't the best, I'll admit. So yeah, pretty hard to convince anybody to take
fair
enough.
That. When looking at your stats, I mentioned it when in the intro too. You've played goalie, forward, and defense. What's your preferred position?
Oh God, I suck at all of them. I'd say left wing is probably the most fun out of all of them. Especially when you're winning. Nothing beats scoring goals, right? So I'd say left wing would be the best, but my season 42 position is still up in the air. I might be going back to the net, so we'll see how she goes.
Dang. So your favorite position is left wing, but you might sign up as a goalie next season.
Yeah, I like winning more, so.
I mean, if you go look at your record, you got a winning record in all your positions, so can't be too upset.
Yeah, I just know when I was playing left wing was at the beginning of COVID, and I had way too much time on my hands to learn all new shit, and I was spending way too much time on my Xbox. So nowadays, I feel like I hope goalie goes back to what it was like NHL 19 era, when it was easy as shit. That was fun. Because making saves, I'd say making saves like a 18 save shutout is way better than playing forward. I feel feeling like you actually are getting a lot of shots and stopping everything. Good feeling. Oh, Thompson tells me all the time.
Nice. Yeah. No doubt, man. No doubt. Okay, so we're at the point where you get to ask me a question, but before you ask that question, I would encourage the chat. And I see a couple questions we'll get to. The chat, just put some questions in if you have any for Keiran. There is a couple in there that we'll get to, but did you have a question for me? One question.
Yeah, I thought about a good one. Hopefully, it's a good one and not been asked yet. Looking back now that the playoffs are obviously into the third round, if you yourself had taken your management team, if you could have switched to a different division, which would you have chosen? Why?
Like in our league this season?
Yeah.
Even the W?
Yeah, looking back now that we've gone a little further ahead, obviously deep in the playoffs, if you could go back in time, would you have told your past self, switch to this division?
No, I don't think so. And I
No,
know
you would have stayed.
that's a very boring answer. But if you were to look at our division or even our conference versus our division, if you look at our division versus everybody else, we had the lowest amount of points, like our division in general, right? So our top of our division, Kitchener, had 84 points. When you look at some of the other leagues, like you got the Royals in 5th at 87 points, and the Hurricanes and Blades are 5th, 5, 6 with 81 points. Like our division was a lot weaker, I think, than any other division, and we also had London and Erie in our division. So there's no other division that gives you that. Although the OHL, you play every team 4 times, so it's not like the WHL. But I strongly believe that like the WHL would have been a lot tougher in any other division. If I was to just quickly look if there was a WHL one I would want to be in, like there really isn't, man. Unless like I guess if you swapped out from like one of the good teams, like maybe you'd want to be in the Western BC. Like if Kamloops, Victoria, and Kelowna, one of those teams were out, you're playing Prince George or Vancouver. 8 times
Wow.
a season. I wouldn't
No
mind
love for
that.
CJ.
They had a pretty tough season, but they were playing tough teams too, right? And that's
Yeah.
probably the only one. Although Edmonton didn't have an unreal season too, that might not have been a bad division to be in as well. The Eastern Central,
Yeah,
with
Edmonton came off a little bit.
like we probably could have beat Edmonton a significant amount this season. Like probably back and forth. Medicine Hat, I would have expected our team to beat, and Red Deer, it wouldn't have been acceptable to lose to Red Deer. So, yeah, I still think I'd stay where I am. I like the variety of playing different teams, but
Yeah.
also, like I said, we had London and Erie, so should be winning those games. That's a great question,
Yeah.
though, man.
Absolutely no. Yeah. I feel like if maybe you're in a tougher division, it would have been different. But no, yeah, good answer.
Yeah. All right. So, Caxton's asking who is the best manager other than Moose Jaw,
The best manager,
other than the guys on
like
Moose Jaw.
the group. Oh, I wouldn't even. I mean, even if you said with Moose Jaw there,
He's saying
I wouldn't count this.
manager, so he's not saying like a group of managers. He's the best manager, is what he's
Does
asking.
does he want his name said?
You
Does he want
need just
Cax?
to give your honest answer. Don't give Cax what he wants.
Oh man, that's tough. Management group, the best management group. I mean, I feel like the Sioux for skill wise is pretty solid. Like Slayer, I don't think I've ever beaten Slayer in a game in my life. That guy has my number. But for people like to chat with, you were pretty fun to chat with. God, that's a tough one. Yeah, I don't know exactly. Uh, Wheat Kings maybe they were fun to chat with and talk, but yeah, I go the Sioux. I like Polish. Slayer's a good player. Yeah, I go Sioux.
Fair enough. Sue. The
The
Sue
Polish
connection.
was Polish was the best to talk trades with too. I think we made 3 trades throughout the season, and they were all pretty massive deals, and they were so smooth every single time. So
Yeah, Polish a good dude, man. I like him
yeah, shout out that guy.
for sure. What else we got here? Southie2414. I'm assuming somebody on your team. Keiran, who do you think you are? Follow up. What gives you the right?
Yeah, I'm pretty. That's fucking huge. I think I'm some shitter. Uh, Hooch isn't playing tonight, so he's probably taking the night off and chilling.
So he's just bored hanging out watching you.
Yeah, he gave me some shit, but it's a good game.
Yeah. No, it's all good. Egan saying, Keiran, you got moved from from Regina quick last season. Was it because I left before the season started?
Regina was a mess. I don't I don't want to take too much of your time, but the Regina team was run by Crooked Metal and fuck, who was his GM? His GM became an owner this season too. I can't remember, but Crooked Metal and someone else. Basically, they bid me up to 2.5 mil or 3 mil as a left winger, which is way too much money for me. I was going to Plimy's Kingston team. Me and Plimy had talked. So they bid on me blindly because apparently the GM is real life buddies with one of my buddies, or he works with him in real life. So they bid on me because of that, and I won't lie, I was very upset having to play for Cooked Metal. So I let my emotion show a little bit and wanted out pretty quick. So I was moved back to Cote in a week. So
Oh yeah, I actually remember that. I remember like getting pissed off because I was like, everyone's trading Cote his fucking season 38 team back, and we stopped trading him the guys. Like I remember just seeing guys go over there, like D Thomas went over there too, and I was like, hey, I remember these names. Like, can we fuck right off?
yeah,
Because
just giving him back everything.
like it was just go
The
ahead.
magic never was there again with the Blazers because the season 38 we went that far, and then Cote brings in Hooch and Daco as well in season 39, and I'm pretty sure we got knocked out round 1 or 2. Cote was trying to build that team again, and he just couldn't. He couldn't do it. So
Yeah, fair enough. Fair
it
enough.
was unfortunate.
That's a different
Yeah,
game too, right?
Yeah, and we didn't like. I honestly think with our line, especially me, Cote, and Pocket, Al Alerg was the difference. Like that guy was such a good D man. I think without him, we really couldn't do anything. So
Fair enough. Cax is saying wrong answer for his question, so he was definitely looking for you to say him. Polish says thanks.
I love Pax though. Talking to him about the Shore and the Sagan deal is pretty funny because every 5 minutes he would message me and he'd be like, "You have no idea how painful it is talking to Red Deer." Like every 5 minutes.
Oh man. Oh yeah, because you would have sent him on the wild goose chase there. So
Yeah, we sent him. We gave him a list of D man. We honestly didn't think he could get Finney, but we kind of just did it as like if you get Finney, and yeah, so
there you go. Then it all worked out, and both you guys are still in playoffs. And talking about playoffs, the last question I'm gonna ask, and just because Cax didn't get the answer he wanted, and I haven't asked anybody else this, excluding I mean, you can choose if you want to talk about yours or not, but predictions for these for the Final Four right now.
to go to the Final Four, yeah.
So we got Oshawa and Hamilton. Who do you think is gonna take that one?
That's gonna be so tough. With Hamilton coming off Sudbury's win, I still think Oshawa does it. I think Oshawa can do it. I think they do it in 5 or 6, to be honest. Yeah, I'd say Oshawa goes through in that one.
Okay. Sue Flint.
Sue easily.
Easily. So is that
I
a
also
4?
I 4 or 5, but I also find it funny with Cote quitting mid-season on Flint for them to be this far.
Yeah.
Was Cote the dead weight?
He might have been. Who knows, right? Who knows? But
I love that guy.
so you're saying Sioux in 4 or 5? You know that the Sioux were taken to 6 games with Windsor, and then they were like a lot of people said they were going to sweep us, and we ended up finding somehow to get them to 6 too. So maybe they're finding their stride here.
You guys are just goated though, you know.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'll say 2 and 5. Yeah, 5. I guess Flint did just beat Saginaw,
and they shut down that top line there too. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Portland and Kelowna.
As much as I don't want to say it, I think Portland was that. I know I'm going with the favorites, no spice here, but I think Portland's very, very good, obviously.
Yeah,
and I know Thompson and Coach going head to head would be pretty entertaining if we can get through Lethbridge. So
fair enough. And then the last one's your series. Again, it's up to you if you want to comment on it or not.
Yeah, I'd probably say Lethbridge in 4.
Lethbridge in 4. Good karma. Except if it happens, then you're gonna regret that.
Yeah, no, then they can use that as bolt.
But yeah, I'm on the same page. I think Sioux wins 5 or 6. 5 or 6. I think Oshawa wins in 5 or 6, and I think Portland will get a little bit of a run here. I think it'll be 6 games. I think it'll be 6 with Portland, and then I got you guys winning. I think Lethbridge has done a great job getting to where they need to get to and where they are today, especially after the beginning of the season that they had. They've done a lot of good things, but I think you guys got a really strong team. You guys done a lot of good things to get your team to where they have to be, and I would love to see you guys in Portland now for the WHL final for sure.
I know in manager's chat everyone wants to see, not everyone wants to, but Portland and Oshawa, that would be entertaining for how much they kind of go back and forth at each other.
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to see it though because we'd all be at a manager's chat. So
yeah, no,
it's just a waste for us. They'd have to bring it to the show box.
Yeah, hopefully they take it to the show box at that point.
For sure,
if they go there.
Awesome. Hey, I won't keep you any longer, man. I know you guys got games tonight, and best of luck. Appreciate you hopping on and doing this. It was a great conversation, man.
No, thanks for having me. It was a blast.
Awesome. Anything else before we shut this down from you?
No. Tune in tonight though to watch Moose Jaw. Hopefully, take a 2-0 series lead.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I'll be looking for streams. I'll be watching the games tonight. But yeah, again, thanks for joining, and best of luck, buddy.
Thanks, bud.
Take care. All right, guys. That does it for Between Two Sticks with KeiranGW. I thought it was a really good, really great interview. Griggs, sorry I missed your question in there. Maybe I'll add that to my question list for us on Friday. All right, I'll ask. We'll put that in there. Maybe we'll do a poll too. We can add a few lines to the poll and see what chat thinks. As always, guys, thanks a lot for joining. It's a lot of fun when guys are in the chat and asking questions and getting involved. So we do this again on Friday with A Griggs. Friday, 7:30 p.m. Should be a good one. And then we got again Sunday. We have LG McDonald, which should be a really good one as well. But yeah, again, thanks for everyone who watched today. Best of luck if you're still in playoffs. And look forward to seeing the rest of you guys in season 42. Have a great night, guys.